Boeing is going to face pretty tough questions today from shareholders at that annual meeting. The company reportedly did not tell airlines that a system that warns pilots about faulty sensors was turned off until after the Lion Air crash in October. Let's get more on this now from Seth Kaplan, who is an aviation journalist. Seth, good morning.
Good morning, Cheryl.
Well, so they didn't tell airlines, and this is something that's now being investigated, that this safety feature warned pilots about those sensors and that they had been deactivated. So basically, even the manual, let's say at Southwest Airlines, was wrong up until the Lion Air crash, and the FAA knew nothing about it. This is all in the reports that are out this morning. How incredulous is this to you?
Yeah, this is just sort of more evidence that Boeing seemed to be kind of trying to have it both ways. On one hand, saying, you know, this aircraft is revolutionary in terms of efficiency and passenger comfort and all the rest of it. But on the other hand, very much like the old airplane, the old 737, in terms of how it would fly. So here we have these reports, yet something else, in addition to the MCAS system itself that everybody now knows about, which was supposed to prevent crashes, instead seems to have at least partly caused two crashes. And now here, yes, pilots could have expected this warning if the what are called angle of attack sensors were not in agreement. But unless airlines paid for an upgrade, something American did, most airlines didn't, they would not have gotten that warning.
And that angle of attack vane is that's the pitch of the plane's nose, and that is what we are now discovering with Lion Air and with Ethiopia, that was the whole kind of crux of the crashes. Exactly. That killed so many people. Well, what about these whistleblower complaints that we've now gotten word of? And this is now, according to the Wall Street Journal, that several complaints after Lion Air, they've got this tip line at the FAA, and all of a sudden the phones basically lit up from around the world. They're all getting investigated, not just by the FAA, but global regulators, and now you've got Congress involved. What do you make of the possible investigation that's on its way?
Exactly, and the Journal reporting that there were people at the FAA at some levels who thought the plane should have been grounded after the Lion Air crash. Back in about December is what the Journal's reporting. And yet, obviously, at the highest levels of the FAA, disagreement with that, and ultimately they concluded that the plane was safe to continue flying, and we saw only days after the Ethiopian crash, ultimately the plane was grounded. So, yeah, a lot of blame seemingly here to go around, not only perhaps on the part of Boeing, but on the part of at least some people at the FAA who didn't take seriously enough the fact, as we now know, that MCAS system could cause a plane crash based on one erroneous warning. Remember, there were two sensors. The system could have relied on both of them. It will going forward, didn't back then.
Oh, there's so many problems. Today's going to be a big day for this company. Seth, thank you very much. It's great to have you on this one.
Thank you, Cheryl. Pleasure.
All right, Lauren.
And we're also talking about Boeing's